a very good worker, but he never would have had the idea to go into business for himself, or the ability to do it, come to that. But she did, and she kept the books until he retired and they moved back here. Well, it doesn't sound like the sort of person who would begin her day by checking what's new in the House of Aquarius, Brunetti observed. That's what I don't understand, Vianello said. I'm still not sure why you're asking me about this, Lorenzo. Well, I'm not sure I know either. The last few times I've gone to see her, there were these crazy magazines lying around. Your horoscope, the wisdom of the ancients, that sort of thing. She saw me looking at them, but she didn't say anything. She was almost, I don't know, almost secretive about it. I think that's what bothered me. He gave Brunetti a long, inquisitive look. You'd say something, wouldn't you? What, to her, you mean? Yes, if she were your aunt. Well, maybe. Maybe not. What about your uncle? Can you ask him? Well, I suppose I could, but talking to Zio Franco is like talking to any of those men of his generation. They have to make a joke about everything, slap you on the back and offer you a drink. Oh, he's the best man in the world, but he really doesn't pay much attention to anything. What, not even to her? Vianello was silent for a long time before he answered, Probably not. Men of his generation really didn't pay much attention to their families, I think. Why'd you tell me? Brunetti asked. Oh, I guess I wanted to hear how it sounded, whether if I listened to myself talk about it, I'd know if I should be worried about her or not. I wouldn't worry until she starts reading your palm, Lorenzo, Brunetti said, trying to lighten the mood. Vianello shot him a stricken look. Might not be far off, I'm afraid. 2 days later, sitting at his desk, Brunetti wondered at the possibility of making some sort of deal with the criminals in the city. Could they be induced to leave people alone until the end of this heat spell? His thoughts drifted to the promises he had made to Paola that tonight they would discuss their vacation. He, a Venetian, was going to turn himself and his family into tourists. But tourists going in the other direction, away from Venice, leaving room for the millions who were expected this year. Last year, 20 million. God have mercy on us all. He heard a sound at the door and looked up to see Signorina Elettra, with the light streaming in his windows, illuminating her as in a spotlight. Could it be? Was it possible that after more than a decade, in which his superior's secretary had brightened his days with the flawlessness of her appearance, the heat had managed to make inroads, even here? Was that a wrinkle down the left side of her white linen shirt? Brunetti closed his eyes for a moment, and when he opened them again, saw that the line was nothing more than the shadow created by the light coming in from his windows. Signorina Elettra paused at the door, and another person appeared beside her. Good morning, Dottore, she said. The man beside her smiled and said, Ciao, Guido. To see Tony Brusca out of his office at the Commune during the working day was like seeing a badger out of its set in daylight hours. I met Tony on the way here, Signorina Elettra said. Brunetti had had no idea the two were acquainted, so I thought I'd show him the way to your office. She stepped back and gave what Brunetti recognized as her first-class smile to the visitor. This indicated either that Brusca was a good friend, or Signorina Elettra knew the man was the head of the Department of Employment Records at the Commune, and thus a man of potential usefulness. Brunetti stepped around his desk and took Brusca's hand, then clapped him on the shoulder. Signorina Elettra smiled and left the office. Brunetti showed his friend to one of the chairs in front of his desk and sat facing him in the other. Brusca said, There's something I want to ask you about, Guido. From his briefcase he pulled out a number of papers. A lot of people at the Commune talk to me. They tell me things that sometimes make me curious, and then I ask around and people tell me more things. And because my job allows me to be curious about what people are doing, and because I'm always very polite and very thorough, people tend to answer my questions. Even if they really aren't about things that should concern you professionally? Brunetti asked. Exactly. Is that what you have there? Brunetti asked, nodding to the papers. Brusca handed them to Brunetti. Take a look, he said. The first paper bore the letterhead of the Tribunale di Venezia. The left side of the sheet held 4 vertical columns headed